Hello everyone, how you doing? This is Carla Y next for today's inspiration. And as always, I want to encourage you on your journey and remind you that you can live every single day on purpose. I want to actually give a little shout out, and I might not go name by name because I know I'm going to forget some people, but I want to give a shout out to those young people. They're adults now, whom I've had the pleasure of watching grow up. Not only my own children, and when I say give a shout out, I want to commend them for being the wonderful young people that they've grown up to be, the wonderful young men and women. Yes, my children are on top, but this is not about me and us. This is about especially those who I'm privileged to see now on Facebook. Um, from our church in New Orleans, from Fairview Missionary Baptist Church, 2000 Andrew Street, New Orleans, Louisiana, 70117, pastored by Dr. Cleveland E. Washington in the Lower Ninth Ward. I was 12 years old when my family moved back to New Orleans. My dad was in the Navy. He retired at that age. Well, when I was 12 years old. And that's when we moved there to live out his retirement and where we lived. And because my parents are native New Orleanians, and they came back home after all of that traveling in the military. Okay, we went back. I'm saying back to our church because that was our family church, and that's the church where we chose to worship. Reverend Tyler was the pastor when I was baptized. He was an older gentleman, and he died not long after that, maybe a year or two. But from that time, I was 12 years old, as I said. I was probably, I almost said the oldest, but I don't think the oldest. At that time, with the young people, at this time, we were the youth of the church. And there may have been one or two older than me. I remember Jeffrey. He was older than me. But then his sister, Bert, she was younger than me. So, and there were others like Zena and Melinda, and I can't remember other names you see there. But there were some who were even younger. And as I grew up, I eventually moved away from the youth. But I watched them grow up in the youth choir, like Ernestine. Now, she's online. Hey, Ernestine. She was a little bitty girl, though, but I watched her grow up. Beautiful young lady. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful inside and out. Beautiful spirit. Beautiful appearance. Beautiful face. Beautiful everything about her. Beautiful ways. Just wonderful. And on top of all of that, a beautiful voice. I wish I could hear her sing right now. But, she comes from a great family. All her aunts and her mom and all are singers, beautiful voice. And I watched her. She was one of the older children, but younger than me. So she's about to around my brother's Ira age. Ira is 5 years younger than me, but she may be a little younger than that. I don't think she's his age, maybe a little younger. But beautiful young lady, and she grew up and grew up and grew on. But her and the other people, I'm so proud of them. What's her name? Recently got married. Oh my God, I can't remember her name. She recently got married. Not only did she get married, Shalanda, you know who I'm talking about. She became a doctor. Ariel, she obtained her degree in medicine, but she got married recently. I saw the pictures of on Facebook. Beautiful. There's some other people who didn't go to our church, but they would come to visit. But those people we knew, like Marshall. Marshall connects with me. I enjoy reading him. He's a blessing. We were just in a conversation about Sunday school. He's a Sunday school teacher at his church, and I got to see him again when we went home a few months ago for my Uncle Leon's birthday. Hadn't seen him though since he was a little boy. Now he's a young man, and I mean just well raised, just gentle spirit, just wonderful, just like his mom. I love his mom, Priscilla, and got to see his sister again, Katrina. Um, I'm just saying all this because it's just amazing that now I'm watching these young they were children, and now they're just wonderful adults, and I commend you. I commend you for all that you've been through. I don't know everything you've been through, but I know just because I know life, I know you've been through something, and I commend you for standing strong and keeping your faith in God because you all had good foundations. No matter if you chose to stay where you were or move on to another place, you still have that foundation, and it's obvious in what you say and how you carry yourself. I can see it. I can see that you know for yourself, because you have to know. You have to know that you know that you know. I say this all the time. I say this in Sunday school, Marshall. Um, I said it in church. I said it when I speak to people, or whatever. But I say this, and this is true. God does not have any grandchildren. Have you ever read in the Word where He said, "Dear grandchildren"? He calls us His children. He calls us. He says that He's our Father. How did Jesus teach us to pray? Father, to your Father in heaven. He didn't say to your grandfather. My point is, you have to know Him for yourself. Your mother's faith, your grandmother's faith cannot save you. Your mother's faith cannot carry you. Your daddy's faith cannot hold you. You have to know this for yourself. You have to know Him personally and intimately. You can't know Him vicariously because somebody else did. Your grandmama, your aunt, your daddy, whatever. You have to know Him for yourself. When He says servant, well then He's not going to say, okay, now call your son and tell your, no. He's going to call you by name. He knows you. You have to make it personal. And I see that you have, and I commend you on that. I want to encourage you to stay the course, to stay strong, to continue to live your faith, walk by faith, walk in your purpose, teach others, let the world know that you know God, that you know the Father. He's your Father. Let the world know. And you know what? I talked about in another video, I talked about trying to fit in and trying to look like the world. You don't have to do that. You should look like your Father. That's what you should look like. You shouldn't look like the world. You should look like your Father. You can have fun. You can have a good life. I mean, enjoy your life. He's given it to you. Enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with enjoying it. But you still should look like your Father. Okay? God bless you. And again, I commend you all. For my children, my nephew, Calvin, that boy is something else. And I say boy, and I mean no disrespect, Calvin, but you know you can be my baby. But he really displays his faith in everything. I mean, just reading him gives you energy. It gives you energy. It makes you want to roll on the floor and shout and dance and all of that with his beard. But I'm so proud of him. I mean, I watched these children. I knew them before they were born. My children. I thank God for them knowing who God is themselves. That's a mother's prayer, is that her children will be saved. And mine are. And I'm just so grateful that they know God for themselves. My son Jerry posts a lot. You can just read his faith at all times. So, again, to all of you, I commend you. I encourage you. I bless you. I hug you. I love you. I high five you. God bless you. This is Carla Wideness for today's inspiration.